Welcome, folks, to this edition of the 700 Club. We're delighted to have you with us. Wendy's here with us today. You're back from climbing all kinds of strange mountains.
Well, I haven't seen you since you were with the president a week ago.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, very good interview.
More coming. Yeah, well, he seemed to like it, and it's nice to get a friendly face. So we'll set up another one maybe in another month or so and see what we can do.
All righty.
Well, folks, the world has watched in horror as North Korea has built up its nuclear weapons program with intercontinental ballistic missiles that they could use to strike America. But what if Iran also had such dreadful weapons? President Trump is moving to stop that scenario from becoming a deadly reality.
Critics say President Obama's deal with Iran will let it build nuclear weapons. But President Trump is apparently getting ready to put an end to that agreement. Dale Hurd has the story.
President Trump was reportedly eager to declare Iran in breach of the nuclear deal, but was talked out of it by top cabinet members and security aides who rushed to the Oval Office to persuade him as a midnight deadline approached. They wanted to at least wait until the Iran review is completed and a new U.S. policy is ready to be unveiled. CBN's David Brody explains what happened.
He listened to the folks that know this issue best, H.R. McMaster, General McManus, and also Rex Tillerson. And so there was this long meeting at the White House, and they all said, look, you got to stay in the deal. And a lot of folks think that, Trump's going to just do what Trump wants to do. Well, in this case, Trump didn't do what he wants to do. He wants to get out of the deal, and he didn't do it because he did listen to the generals on the ground, in this case, the generals in the Oval Office.
Trump agreed Monday night to let the issue go, but only until the deal comes up for review again in 3 months, and only after last-minute changes that would distance him from the deal. President Obama once famously boasted that his agreement in 2015 to lift sanctions on Iran was the strongest non-proliferation deal ever negotiated.
It is a good deal, a deal that meets our core objectives. This framework would cut off every pathway that Iran could take to develop a nuclear weapon.
But conservative critics, including President Trump and members of his team, have repeatedly said it's a bad deal and that it opens the door for Iran to build nuclear weapons just as another country already has.
An unchecked Iran has the potential to travel the same path as North Korea and take the world along with it.
But the White House has decided to let the deal stand without technically confirming that Iran is complying with it. And it slapped new non-nuclear sanctions on Iranians Tuesday to show that Trump is indeed serious about confronting Tehran. It's highly unlikely Trump will agree to certify the deal again when it comes up for review in a few months, according to White House officials. And some think that Trump's broader review on Iran, expected to conclude in the next few weeks, will mark a major shift in relations and a massive increase in U.S. pressure on the Islamic Republic. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, it's got to be done. That deal was outrageous, outrageous. And it was another thing where they pulled the wool over the American people, and one of Obama's aides laughed at the fact that the American voters were being made fools of. Well, President Trump is also meeting with Republican senators today to talk about the next moves on health care. Ephraim Graham has that.
Pat, the president is not giving up on health care, even though he made it clear he's unhappy the Republican bill to repeal and replace Obamacare failed in the Senate.
I'm certainly disappointed. For 7 years, I've been hearing repeal and replace from Congress, and I've been hearing it loud and strong. And then when we finally get a chance to repeal and replace, they don't take advantage of it.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell plans to hold a vote early next week to repeal the bill, and Vice President Pence said they should vote on it.
You know, the Senate actually passed the very same bill in 2015 and sent it to President Obama's desk, and they should do it again.
But the Republican senators have already said they'll vote against bringing up the measure for decision. The Republican plans for health care will be one of the subjects on the premiere of Faith Nation, the new CBN News political show. David Brody and Jenna Brada will be talking to White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Now, you can watch that at 12:30 live on Facebook Live. Pat?
It's a disgrace the Republicans can't get together on this thing. Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, Susan Collins from Maine, they were the major holdouts. They seemed to want to wave their fist in the or their finger, I should say, in the faces of their Republican colleagues. And since it's that close a vote, what's coming up, perhaps they need to have a few more Republican senators. There's some weak Democrats who might have a chance to get with. But I'm telling you, this is disgraceful. It's now one party against the other party, and I mentioned yesterday, I'll say it again, a house divided against itself cannot stand. A kingdom divided against itself is going to come to trouble. And unless we get something going, I mean, we're in trouble, because you've got one party that their whole agenda is to hurt the president. And by the way, I was watching one of those clowns on late night. I saw a clip of what he was talking about. I wasn't seeing his program. But he's over in Russia defaming our president. And I think Americans, when they go overseas, they ought to be Americans. And we have one president. We don't have two. We've got one. And he's the choice of the American people for their leader. And I think for a talk show host to go to Russia and say that Trump doesn't have as much sense as a potato, I mean, this is an outrage. And I think we should show that kind of outrage because, again, we're supposed they say beyond the border, we're all Americans. Ephraim.
Pat, she is a growing voice on social media known as the activist mommy, and she wants Teen Vogue magazine taken off store shelves because of an article instructing children how to perform sodomy. As Charlene Aaron reports, parents are outraged and they're joining her call for a nationwide boycott.
This is how Elizabeth Johnston, known as the activist mommy, responded to the Teen Vogue article. Everything you need to know about anal sex, how to do it the right way. The mother of 10 tossed pages of the magazine into the fire.
Don't let your kids read garbage.
After posting this on Facebook to her 300,000 fans, it also caught fire with more than 8 million views. Johnston also launched Operation Pull Teen Vogue, urging stores to remove the magazine from their shelves. In the article, author Gigi Engel answers hypothetical questions to explain anal sex and says some describe an experience which, quote, can be delightful.
I was just so outraged when some parents sent me this article. I could not believe what I was reading. And the worst part about it was that here you have adults peddling this sexual information to minors, to children.
Johnston is not alone, as commentator Matt Walsh also strongly condemned the article. The left wants nothing more than to turn your child into a sexual deviant, he writes. This is the primary goal of modern leftism. Nothing matters more to them than converting your child into the religion of self-indulgence. After all, it may be too late to mold you into a desperate, lonely, sex-obsessed freak. But your daughter, well, she's ripe for the picking. Johnston believes it will take action and righteous indignation to save the next generation.
You go to your local library, grocery store, and gas station, and see if they are carrying Teen Vogue, and speak to the manager or the owner and ask them to please never carry Teen Vogue again. This is obscenity, this is pornography, and this needs to be pulled from the shelves.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Turning to health news, a healthy diet can keep your brain healthy as you get older and drastically cut your chances of getting dementia. That is the finding from a group of studies. Health Day News includes the diet and says the diet should include fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy, whole grains, poultry, fish, and nuts, while limiting the amount of red meat, sugar, and salt. And you can replace butter with healthy fats like olive oil. Experts also say you can get the benefits from that healthy diet even if you start eating it later in life. Although others say the sooner you start eating healthy, the better. Pat, yet another study to prove what you've been saying a long time.
I did. I just gave them all the information and they just wrote it all down. You do this healthy stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Let's see. I was flying all day. I was in the air. It's hard to eat healthy when you're on an airplane. Yeah. I flew from Austin, Texas, to Boston, from Boston to Baltimore, and Baltimore to Norfolk.
Yeah.
And so I was in the air all day, so I think I had a power bar, and that was it.
You have to carry your snacks with you, you know, a few nuts. But I'm a fan of nuts. You know, micronutrients is the key, and micronutrients are found in nuts and berries. So blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, all these colored berries, and all kinds of nuts. It's so easy.
And this is the season.
Yeah,
I mean, you can even find local
and it's
stuff.
delicious. So you can, why not enjoy yourself? But I tell you, I'm not a bad cook. I can cook healthy stuff too. I love vegetables. You know, really they're good.
And you make a mean minestrone soup.
Award-winning, darling. I mean, hey. My minestrone, I just kept putting stuff into it and put it in the pot. Give me some spinach, give me some chopped kale, give me some this, that, and it was delicious.
It's a good way to get your kale. If you don't like kale,
I
put
love
it in your
kale.
soup.
Kale is the way. They're actually eating, you know, kale little snacks, you know.
Oh, the fried, like
fried
they're like
or baked kale.
The crispy, like potato chips, only they're kale chips. Yeah.
Okay. Well, healthy. We're the Healthies channel. Keep that fair and healthy.